Hey everyone, welcome to the Horror Show. I'm Cecil Laird.
Derk Harron.
Back with another comic book review for you guys. This is once again of the non-horror variety because we are continuing our coverage of Doomsday Clock coming out of DC Comics, which is, of course, the melding of the DC universe and the Watchmen universe. And so, like I've said, we've done issues 1 and 2 up till this point. Issue 3 came out last week. Once again, I'm a week late on this, but I did want to get to it because I am enjoying this series. So we'll do this like we normally do the reviews. We'll talk about our overall thoughts, and then we'll break it down a little bit more in depth. My overall thoughts were I was not as thrilled with this issue as I was with the second issue. However, this issue did have my favorite scene in the story so far. So that's the thing. Overall,
is that with the mime?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. The mime was that made this whole series worth getting, that scene alone, to be honest with you. Like, now we finally see just why the mime is so intimidating, and the theory behind this character as a villain is just so brilliant. Like, I mean, if what we see is indeed what his power set is, that's pretty badass. Or is it limited to certain things, or can it be literally anything? Like,
I don't know.
That's what's so cool. Anyway, we'll get into it, but so yeah, that scene alone made this issue, nay, this series, worth getting to me. But overall, I did feel it wasn't as balanced and enjoyable to me as the second issue was.
Oops.
Was that you? No,
that was me.
Oh. All right.
Sorry.
No problem. So, all right, so what do you think, Dirk?
I really enjoyed it. I think that it took it to the next level.
Yeah.
I think it was better than the last.
Really? Okay.
Issue, so,
okay. Well, but see, that's the thing. Okay, go ahead. We'll talk about it. Sorry.
Because I don't know, I love the Rorschach and Batman subplot that's kind of going on. Mm-hmm. They kind of touch upon where the last issue kind of left off, with the character being revealed.
Mm-hmm.
And
True.
I don't know, man. It just keeps me on my toes, and that's what I love about comic books.
Yeah, you know, I should give more credit where it's due in this one. I did like the Rorschach Batman stuff, and I did like the returning character. That's the thing, like, you know, it's issue 3, so it's not. We have to talk about the issue. Right. So there are going to be a certain level of spoilers to this, guys, but you know, it's just going to be the case.
I'll let you decide which ones.
Yeah, well, I mean, this technically will be spoiling the end of issue 2 at this point, because at the end of issue 2, someone showed up that we didn't want to ruin last episode, but it turns out that it's actually the comedian. The comedian is still alive. He was rescued by Dr. Manhattan after being thrown out the window by Ozymandias at the beginning of the original Watchmen series. That's why the button disappeared. That's why, I'm assuming that's why the button disappeared.
Yeah.
And that's why the comedian disappeared. And the comedian just kept falling and fell into Gotham Bay Harbor. So, you know, we don't know exactly when this happened, but now he's here in the DC universe, and he is confronting Ozymandias, and that was a really cool scene as well.
Yeah.
The stuff that I started to have an issue with was all the film noir stuff, which is just, that kind of stuff is just boring to me. It always has been.
Well, I thought that was really cool that there was like this like black and white movie that's kind of playing in the background of all these different scenes and all these different subplots. It brought me back to the Black Freighter story that was in the original Watchmen, that like somehow it's gonna play a role but not really, but it's like an interesting tale. And then plus, I love like the articles in the back this time around because of the whole scandal behind the actor that was playing,
murdered.
Yeah, that was playing this detective. So I don't know. I like all that stuff. It allows it to build more of a universe, especially in a situation where this story seems really DC heavy for the most part.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
And then to have those like little stories kind of going on that remind you that, hey, we are playing with Watchmen characters and we're in this kind of Watchmen realm as well. So
Yeah, I agree with you there. But as far as the story progression, how do you think that's going along? Do you feel like it's a good pace? Is it too fast? Is it just right? What do you think?
I love all the cliffhangers that they've been doing, especially how the whole Batman Rorschach thing plays out, and we get to see the unmasking of Rorschach, which was pretty crazy.
Well,
and
they showed his face in the first issue, though.
I think they showed his lips or whatever. He like pulls it up just a little bit.
Oh yeah, you're right. You're right.
Okay. But you get to see who he is, but they don't tell you who he is. You just get to see his face.
Right.
But I'm pretty sure I know who it is.
Oh, really?
If you know the Watchmen original, then you can probably figure it out.
Yeah, see, I don't, so I can't. But anyway, I'll be along for the ride anyway. But yeah, that whole subplot was really fun to watch play out. And when you got to how it resolved, you're like, oh, how did I not see that coming?
Exactly, I didn't see it coming either. But it was funny. It was funny how it all played out.
Yeah, and it's like, oh man, that makes sense. But does it what doesn't make there's a little bit of questioning I have regarding Batman's immediate sort of dismissal when he's seen the amount of crazy shit that he's seen. Like, why would he react that way when he knows that so many different things could happen? Like, why is this any harder to believe?
To grasp.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know, man. Like, here it is. It's just one guy who shows up at his house, knows who he is, has this crazy journal that he's like, I want you to read this. This explains everything. It seems like he's one of the villains that he deals with on a daily basis. So yeah. I understand how it kind of played out.
Well, that's not very villainous, just handing him a journal.
But but he did break into his house and.
I don't know. That's happened before, and Batman has been like, what are you doing? Not like, I don't know. I don't know. We'll see how it plays out.
Yeah. It might be where he realizes, like, damn, that guy was telling the truth. Like, and I need to go get him.
Yeah.
So
let's get into the artwork once again.
Yeah.
We have Gary Frank continuing on as the artist of the book, and let's see. So yeah, here's.
I like the beginning how you get to see that whole. It's like a different view of like that fight.
Yeah, with
Ozymandias
and the comedian.
Yeah. So
really cool. You see him get thrown out right there, just like in the original, and then you get to see kind of what happens. He falls and falls and falls, and then disappears and reappears and falls into the harbor. Like, yeah, it's really pretty cool. But yeah, so I don't think he's lost a step yet. I don't think he's at this rate. Maybe he doesn't. Like you said last time, he's so far ahead, supposedly that hopefully he's not going to run into any pacing issues.
Well, actually, I heard now that it's going to be a bi-monthly.
Oh, they're changing it.
Yeah, so they're I think that what they originally, since Metal is doing so well, Batman Metal or whatever.
Yeah, I was wondering why they were running two big stories concurrently.
And so I think that like kind of isn't Metal kind of coming to an end pretty
Number
soon?
5 comes out this week of 6. Yeah.
Okay, and so I think that it's kind of trumping the whole Doomsday Clock with like
because Metal's awesome.
And I was talking about it with my comic book guy.
Yeah.
And he was just saying that like we're just doing such great sales, even though Doomsday Clock is doing great sales. It's just that like they're releasing like third or fourth reprints of like of Metal,
of everything Metal.
So so I think that's why they want to take a step back, let Metal play out, and then focus in on the Watchmen again.
I actually have a second printing of the Murder Machine. And that one's gone into a number of prints too, I think. But yeah, it doesn't. Well, hang on. And that one's gone into a number of prints as well, I think. So I have first prints of everything. There's only one book I had to spend extra money on, and I got it from Gotham. Mm-hmm. It was the Teen Titans number 12, I think. I had to spend $10 on it a week after it came out, because no one had it, because it was the second official appearance of the Bat Who Laughs. Okay. So it's the Joker Batman, who is actually like the main, outside of the huge Barbatos bad guy, the Bat Who Laughs is like the coordinating evil Batman. And he's got, zombie Robins on chains and shit. Like, there's just so much cool stuff, and I've really, except for like one or two of them, I've liked every single one of the Batman, or the one-offs for each of the individual evil Batman.
All right.
Like, they're all so cool. But anyway, we got to get back to Doomsday Clock, but that's part of the problem, I'm assuming.
Well, yeah. I think that, once again, the two big series are kind of getting in the way of each other. And unfortunately, Doomsday Clock is kind of being forgotten about since Metal's doing so well.
Yeah.
And so I think that I also like that they're taking their time with it.
Mm-hmm.
Get it right, especially like when you're taking such a big risk of like making a sequel to such a a loved franchise.
Mm-hmm.
So, but and if you think about it, like, did you ever read Dark Knight 3?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So Dark Knight 3 took forever.
Yeah, it did.
To come out.
Mm-hmm.
It almost took like 2 years for 9 issues. So,
mm-hmm.
so I don't know, man. I'm fine with them taking their time, whatever.
Mm-hmm. And this is something. One of the scenes that we were talking about, involving my two favorite characters in this whole thing, was an absolute amazing lead-in to, I know,
I love that.
Yeah. So this is something we actually mentioned last week. Wouldn't it be great if the mime and I still don't know her name.
Yeah.
Still we don't
his
know.
wife.
Yeah, the mime and his wife. Wouldn't it be great if they like run afoul of the Joker and Harley Quinn?
Right.
And they're already like first issue out. Someone's like, hey, the boss doesn't take kindly to people in makeup, and they're like, boss who, and at the end they're like, let's go find this Joker, and it's like, yes, like that's what I was hoping, but I can't wait. Like, the Joker's gonna love them at first,
right?
And then I'm sure he's gonna like not like the fact that they're kind of even more badass than he is when put together. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then he's gonna turn on them. That would be my guess. Call it here in episode 3 of our review. But
well, you called it with with the Joker being involved somehow.
It had to be.
Well, I saw one of the covers.
Oh, really?
They did a lot of. They released a lot of like the images for all the covers.
Really?
And one of the covers is Joker. So I was like, oh well, he's gonna play a role in it, which it makes sense with the mime and his wife.
Yeah. So, but man, that's gonna be a great. That scene alone, I can't wait to see that. And Gary Frank's representation of those two characters is just so on point, dude.
I can't wait to see Gary Frank's representation of the Joker.
Yeah, you're right.
I don't know if he's ever drawn him.
That's a good question. That's a good question. I don't know, actually. That's something to check out. I'm sure he's been commissioned to do it at some point, but man, that's really. Anyway, I'm excited. I'm excited. No, I keep getting more and more into the series as I go along, which is nice because I don't have as much Watchmen baggage to kind of sift through like I was worried I was going to. So but yeah,
because you're only playing with so many characters from the Watchmen.
Yeah, exactly.
And the thing is that now that they're in the DC universe, it's like it's limitless to where characters can pop up.
Yeah, that's true. Exactly. So. I'm excited to see how it continues to play out, you guys. If you still haven't picked it up, it's only the 3rd issue. It's going to be 12, right?
12.
So, you still got plenty of time to jump on this train, and we'll still be reviewing it as we go along, so make sure you come on back and watch our reviews. But until next time, I've been Cecil Laird.
Dirk Harron.
And remember, stay scared.